say.
Nah, I ain't got nothing to say.
No, you clearly got something to say.
I always have something to say.
Well, that's the problem.
So you got that dope animation with the record player. So I asked,
Yeah.
like, how'd you do that? Because that's dope art. And you said,
Yeah, I paid for it because I don't
yeah,
have talent.
yeah. So
Okay.
instantly, I thought about the time when I had us on a conference call to have animation done for the whole show. It was like, yeah, we could start off with 40,000 for 60 minutes. I'm like, oh man, how do you feel? How do you feel about that, sir? He was like, we gotta consult with our lawyers and our accountant, see if we can fit that in the budget.
Let me run that by our financial guys.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Well, tell me." He was like, "Tell me." He's like, "Was that too expensive? Like, where are we at? You know, like, just give us a ballpark of what you guys were thinking."
He was like, for 16K, we could cut it down to 30 minutes. I'm like, yeah, fuck that. I hung up the phone. You didn't even know I hung up. That's just mad
Quan, like,
funny.
y'all got a Groupon or some shit like that.
I had to check my Fidelity accounts. I was like, yo, this is crazy. For one animation, wow.
You about to have the bread though. Hit that parlay.
Hit the
Hit that parlay.
It's Monday night football ended. Shout out to Matt. Matt and I, we go through all the games for the most part, and we pick like what we think can happen. And we hit our first parlay, first bet ever. I think it was 9. I think it was a 9 leg parlay. So big shout
Feel
out to
wonderful.
Matt. Infamously speaking, we don't know everything, but we know something. You know what I mean? So feels good about that. Gonna smoke this stogie, and congratulations to my partner and I for hitting that parlay. 'Cause that's big time. We might be able to afford. We might be able to afford another animation in about 3 years.
Infamously speaking, you're tuned in.
Man, that intro is so fire, bro.
Fire.
That intro's fire. If you're not in the mood to talk some shit after hearing that intro, what are you doing
There's something
here?
wrong with you. There's something wrong with you.
You're walking on the field like Anthony Richardson.
I don't know if I want to be walking on the field like Anthony Richardson. Keep it a stack with you. A man sold every week except for week 1, and even week 1 he sold.
That's what I'm saying.
Even week 1 he sold, man.
That's what I meant. Like if you're not ready after listening to that, you're like Anthony Richardson.
You're hurt.
But go ahead. Let's jump into it.
Week 4 of the NFL season is officially over. And we had some crazy action. Patrick Mahomes hurting his own teammates.
Yo, I like your theory about that. So you got to talk about that theory.
Shit is insane. Tampa Bay killing Philly. We said Jaden's jungle last week. Daniel's desert this week.
Daniel's desert, man. He's conquering the whole U.S. right now.
Quan Sam Darnold for MVP pick stays strong.
Stay strong.
And of course, Detroit holding down the home field. We're going to go through those games and then talk about we're a quarter way through the season. Believe it or not, football is going by way too fast. We're going to talk about our thoughts, biggest takeaways from the first quarter of games. Who's impressed us the most? Who's let us down? That's really where I've been spending a lot of my time is in the letdown section, to be completely honest with you. And we're going to talk about how we feel for end of the year award winners so far, Super Bowl picks. We're going to check back in on those. That's another reason why I'm drinking. And then we'll look at it week 5. I will say again, Quan's heating up 2 weeks in a row. He's won the overall head-to-head matchup between him. He went 10-6 this week. I went 9-7. Finally broke my streak of 8 and 8 weeks, thankfully.
Improvement. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Again, kudos to you for calling more right games. We're trending upwards, which is nice.
Progress is a process, my friend. Philly been talking about it for 17 years now. It only took us a month.
And jump into the quick recap of the notable Week 4 games, so we can kind of get into what we want to be the bulk of the show, which is our thoughts to the quarter of the season. So, um, let's kick off with a game that happened in the early window. Philly going into Tampa getting absolutely smoked. Tampa Bay destroys them 33-16. Score wasn't even that close. Keep it a stack with you. Curious what your thoughts and takeaways from this game were, Quan.
Biggest thoughts: Jalen Hurts is not ready. I don't know what happened with the drop off because I still am, I guess. I'm not hating on the guy. He's just not. He's not. I feel like he's not mentally there. I know he's missing. He's missing his two biggest weapons though, with AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. Saquon to only have 10 carries in that game is kind of wild. I know that the Bucks jumped off hot, but still, it's like you giving Saquon only 10 carries is wild, and he still finished with 84 yards. Um, I don't know. I don't see the Eagles doing anything, especially when you got the man, the legend, rising in that division over there, and the real Daniel Dimes, Dirty Daniels.
Wow. The real Danny Dimes.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I
Yep.
agree with you. And I think I said this in when we were making our division picks early in the year, which was Philly is just so inconsistent. Again, like this was the year for Jalen Hurts to show us, was that Super Bowl year who he was, or was it just one of those outlier years where you play really great and now the league has the playbook on you on how to defend you? And he's not beating the allegations right now. I'll keep it a stack with you, which is sad because I like Jalen Hurts. I think he has the potential to be an awesome quarterback. And to your point, Saquon only getting 10 carries is crazy. He had a bulk of that 84 in that one run that kind of got him back in the game in the second half. But credit to Tampa for not allowing that momentum to continue to roll in Philly's way. Baker
Yeah.
gets right back on the winning ways, and Tom Brady was there, and then they had a ball out. But I found it interesting. Did you see Baker's comments about
I
the
I
Tom Brady
did, but I didn't
Buccaneers?
hear him, so I read it. So I didn't really get the perspective because when you read it and then you hear Tom Brady's response, which I also read, uh, I don't really have the right context. So if you want to just bring that back real quick, so I can kind of get a gist of what Baker was really saying.
Yeah, for sure. So just kind of paraphrase, Baker was talking about how it was just a little bit more tense when Tom was in the building because he brings this culture of winning and success from New England. And the expectation with Tom Brady as your quarterback is like Super Bowl or bust. And that can bring a lot of pressure and into a building. And so he was like, they brought me here to just to bring the fun, playfulness back into the building, alleviate some of that stress, and just
Okay,
play some worry-free football.
got you.
And then Tom, Tom, so he said, he's like, winning the Super Bowl is what you're supposed to be doing. So,
Yeah, if I want to have fun, I go to Disneyland with my kids.
right.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I think it was fair on both parts, right? Like,
yeah.
we all know what Tom
Nah,
Brady's
fuck
about.
that.
Nah, no,
Fuck
nah.
that.
No. Let me tell you why I'm
All
okay with Baker saying that is because number one, you're not Tom Brady, but he has brought a level of stability back to the organization after Tom left. Like that turnaround was crazy. You're leaving you lose the greatest quarterback of all time, and you pick up Baker Mayfield, who had just bounced around. Obviously didn't work out in Cleveland, Carolina. He starts that game for the Rams when he just got there that week and wins the game. So he's been bouncing around. You bring him in, he studies that whole ship. He studies that power ship. He's the reason the cannons are firing in Tampa. And so
wow.
I don't mind the comments by him. Like, yeah, I think he's brought a level of energy into the building. He woke up feeling
Yeah, you
dangerous.
fucking run around the field, play your flag in the middle of the ship. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
It's about rings. I get that.
nothing feels better than winning a championship. So all 300 yards, Mike Evans touchdown, Godwin touchdown, cool. Ain't nothing feeling better than putting that ring on your finger at the end of the year.
Of
So
course not. No, of
get the
course
fuck
not.
out of here. So you can
What
have
I'm
all the
saying is I
fun in your
understand
world.
that.
And I want Tampa to succeed, but now it's like, don't do that.
Here we go.
Don't do that.
Anyways, I want to move on because, and I want
Yeah,
again,
let's move on.
I want to move on to the team that you called out again. Jaden Daniels, man, an incredible performance as Washington goes into the desert and just completely destroys the Commanders 42-14. If you would have told me Commanders 3-1 through 4 games leading the division,
You'd have lost that parlay.
I would have lost it. No way. I wouldn't have picked it, man. I
Yeah.
wouldn't have liked it. But we kind of talked about this earlier. And it was the Washington offense has punted once in the last 3 games. Like, think about how crazy that is. Especially as a Giants fan, when all we do is fucking punt. You know what I mean? All we do is not have great drives. For me to see that happen as a rookie, it's so impressive. So that streak that we talked about last week of 14 straight drives with points, that came to an end because he threw an interception. But 15 straight drives
Yeah, that's wild.
scoring points as a rookie
That's
quarterback.
That's unbelievable, bro.
As a Washington fan, you have to feel incredible. And as a Washington believer, I got to give you your flowers.
Thank
Because
you.
that is,
Thank you.
listen, I thought you was
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I'm trying to think of a Washington fan that I know of. I can't think of any off the top of my head. But what I will say is this: as happy as it makes me feel to know that uh, uh, the belief in Washington is paying off, it equally saddens me because I wanted Jaden Daniels so bad on the Patriots. It's unbelievable. Now, honestly, I'm not mad at the Drake pick. I feel like after researching some stuff and doing my studies, I think he's gonna pay off overall in the long run. But Jaden Daniels was who I wanted. You can see it, man. He's a game changer, makes great decisions. And I thought about it also, right? If he had came to the Patriots, what would that have looked like? Because we don't have the same kind of receivers.
Scary Terry.
Right, we don't even have a primary right there. Ertz is still doing his thing.
Right.
Although we have Hunter Henry and stuff, we don't have a run game. I feel like Brian Robinson Jr. has been playing better than Ramondre. Ramondre fumbles every single game.
Every game.
So the dynamic might have been different where Jaden might not have looked as good, but I still think he's that kind of player that he would have made us look a lot better than what we're doing. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. And something that Jaden said that really resonates with me is how he gave so much credit to Cliff with how they mesh and how, they're just on the same page, and that's how come things are working so well.
Yeah, I love the call outs you made. Obviously, as a Giants fan, there was talks of us potentially getting him if we were bad enough to land one of those top 3 picks. And so unfortunately we're not, but I'm not mad. Of course, we got Neighbors who balled out again. He's incredible. But one thing I think people
Can I ask you something real quick though?
Yeah.
If you're in that, would you prefer Daniels over Neighbors? If you had to choose.
Yeah. Yep. Daniels over Neighbors right now in this offense. In the Giants offense? Yeah, 100%. Because I like Wandale. Slayton has potential, and I'll talk about Slayton a little bit later. Hyatt potentially as a deep ball threat. I like Theo Johnson in the middle as a tight end position. And Devin Singletary's been all right, even though he had a shitty ass game. Dallas sold out to stop the run. And they upgraded along the line. 3 new offensive linemen who've actually played okay to start the year. One thing I think people sometimes overlook about Jaden is that he played a good amount of time in college, right? He started at ASU, then transferred. And so he has experience. It's not like he was one of these quarterbacks that only played the minimum 3. I believe he played 5 years of college football. So he had his opportunities to learn at different programs. And it was funny you mentioned Cliff Kingsbury. Remember, Kyler had his best years under Cliff Kingsbury.
I know.
And so they couldn't piece the whole thing together because their defenses were always so bad. But now you're seeing Jaden Daniels under Cliff Kingsbury as the OC, but now a Dan Quinn defense. And we saw what he did in Seattle, of course, with Pete Carroll, Legion of Boom. Now bringing what he did was able to do in Atlanta when he was the coach there. Their defenses were still good. They just couldn't get the offense right. What he brought to
Dallas.
Dallas,
Yep.
what they did there, and now again as another chance to be a head coach in Washington. So this is a scary team, man. Jaden Daniels just has a great knack, a great feeling for the game, and so
As long as he's
man,
healthy, they're winning that division.
that's not even a crazy take. I can't
No.
even refute that at this point. What we've seen out of Dallas and Philly is just so inconsistent that I don't trust either of them, to be honest with you. But credit for you because you were high on them before the year even started. So let's move on to
Let's go.
Quan's boy, Samuel
Quan's boy.
Darnold.
Quan's boy is crazy.
I don't even know if that's his name.
I just call a spade,
That's your
man.
boy, bro. That's your boy.
It's not that he's my boy. A
Going
spade is
into
spade.
Green Bay, when it a spade's a spade, but listen, that's your boy. That's your boy. 31-29. They even though the score is 31-29, it wasn't that close. Of course, Green Bay had a chance at the end, but I never felt like the game was in the swing or that Minnesota really had a chance of losing because they were able to move the ball when they had to. But Sam Darnold, 20 for 28, 275, 3 tutties, 1 pick. And Aaron Jones had an awesome game going back to Lambeau.
Yeah. So it's funny because you want to take the first take or you want me to? I know I spoke first on Washington, so
yeah, I'll take Green Bay here. Jordan Love playing was not something that I expected. You could tell, especially in the beginning of the game, he wasn't really driving the ball. He wasn't stepping into throws, and that could have just been him not trusting the need just yet. And so that led to a lot of balls being underthrown. He had people open. Like it felt like Jaden Reed was open and Wicks was open the entire game, but he was just missing them. And that's what led to a couple of interceptions. But overall, I think Green Bay's in a good position. Being 2-2 with Jordan Love missing 2 games, you got to be happy about that. Of course, you don't expect Minnesota to be 4-0, but you're still in a good spot, I think, if you're Green Bay. They just got to get some defensive things shored up. But other than that, I think I would feel good if I'm Green Bay.
For sure. I think you hit it on the head with Jordan Love. He didn't look comfortable, but as the game progressed, you can see he started getting more comfortable. So I think, although it hurt him at the beginning, I think long term it's going to be better because he obviously gained confidence as the game grew.
100%.
As to my boy Sam Darnold, I mean, you got the best wide receiver out there, but he's making good decisions for the most part, other than that 1 pick. But you also have Aaron Jones, right? And I picked Aaron Jones in almost every league because he was going late, like 6th, 7th round maybe. And I didn't understand why. Obviously, in Green Bay, he has some injuries. But realistically, he's a dynamic player. And he catches the ball out the backfield. Like, for a quarterback who's not right, for Sam Darnold, that's almost like the best thing you can have is a safety net of a check down to Aaron Jones, who's going to turn 1 yards into 13, right? So you have that. And then on top of that, you have this defense who I can't stop talking about because Brian Flores, and I wanted him as a coach. Damn, can you imagine if I got Brian Flores? I should be the GM for the Patriots. I would have had Brian Flores as the coach with Jaden Daniels at quarterback. Then I would have made a move and got a receiver, not Ayuk. I definitely wasn't paying Ayuk that money. But look at this. The Vikings defense leads the NFL in sacks, 17, QB hits, 17, pressures, 50. They lead the league tied with Green Bay with 8 interceptions. They lead the league in pass deflections, 32, and tackles for loss tied with Broncos and the Bills for 26. That defense is incredible. So
50
not only do
QB
you
pressures is insane.
Yeah, it's insane. You have an efficient quarterback, right? Not really turning the ball over much this year, making some decent throws with a defense like that. You would if you set those stats, not saying a team, you're guessing 4-0. And that catch by
100%.
Justin Jefferson was crazy, by the way, in the end zone.
He's insane. And then now what we saw too with Jordan Addison being back, that unlocks a whole another level. And watch out for Jalen Naylor now. I like him
He's
as
been
a third
balling.
receiver,
He's been
middle of
balling.
the field.
Hawkinson's
Yeah,
not even
spooky
there
too.
yet.
That's the scary part, man, and they're balling. I mean, again, credits to your guy Sam Darnold. I thought we were gonna be on pumpkin alert. I really did.
No, I know you did. I
Um,
know you did.
but
You're still waiting.
I'm 1 for 2. There's one person on the carriage ride already, and his name is Derek Carr. When you wish upon a star.
Yeah, but he proved that already year after year.
But people 2-0 starting for the Saints. People are like, oh, look at Derek Carr, look how good he looks. My 15 straight scoring
Yeah.
drives. I was like, guys,
Everybody in the boot. That's about it. Come on, man.
we've seen this before. We've seen this before. Man, yeah, Minnesota, man. I mean, this Minnesota being 4-0, Washington being 3-1, that shit definitely was not what I expected going into the year. But
Yeah.
that's why I'm considering putting away this football to go watch the other football, which I don't know shit about. But I might just luck into some wins there because I ain't gonna look out here. One game that I did want to touch on really quick. I don't want to go into a whole bunch of detail because the game in itself was quite boring. Was Kansas City at Los Angeles. I was just number one. What the fuck is Justin Herbert doing playing that game? High ankle sprain. No Rashawn Slater. No Joe Alt. Your two best linemen, two of the best linemen in the league, not playing. He's hurt. What are you doing playing against that defense, Chris Jones? But the takeaway from that game, Kansas City, of course, wins go to 4-0. But who the fuck are they throwing to now? I mean, Worthy had a bomb. But Patrick Mahomes on a bad interception goes out and was like, fuck it, Rasheed, I know you're not playing next year because you might be in jail. So I just might as well take you out right now and get some practice.
That is wild.
Fucking tackles him and tears his ACL, we think. And so
no, it's torn. It's torn.
Kelsey kind of emerged again. You know, he had a decent game, but
I was going to say, if anything, if anybody should be happy, it's Kelsey fantasy owners because his stock is going to go back up.
Yeah.
It's back to safety nets. That's his safety net. We talked about it. Rashee Rice was kind of taking that role, almost kind of like preparing Mahomes for the future, knowing Kelsey probably has 2 or 3 years left. But Kelsey turned up after that, right? So you still have that. Mahomes is still an incredible quarterback, so I'm sure that he'll make things work. But losing Rashee Rice, I feel like the odds for the Super Bowl and your Super Bowl pick, which we'll get into in the future, has dropped drastically.
So if I'm Kansas City, also Carson Steele, fumble issue. You talk about Ramondre Stevenson. He's there with them. They got to get that cleaned up. Pacheco can't come back fast enough.
Well, Hunt came in and started balling, so I can see Hunt coming back. But go ahead. I apologize for interrupting you.
But talking about Kansas City, obviously now what I'm thinking is, all right, we got to go get a receiver, right? We don't want to spend a whole lot of money or capital on it because, of course, we want Worthy to continue to develop.
Okay.
I got a couple people in mind. Any guesses as to who?
Yeah, I do, actually. I do.
Who?
Devontae Adams.
No. Not even Devon. I mean, if you can get him, sure, but I can't imagine a scenario where Vegas trades him in division to Kansas City, unless you're like, even though you know you're not going to win the division, if you're just like, we're going to trade away our best player by far, then go ahead. But what's a Kansas City draft pick worth when they're picking 30 every year?
Yeah.
30 to 32. I mean, but I like a little sneaky under the radar move. Like I mentioned Darius Slayton earlier. I think Darius Slayton is a viable option that Kansas City should look into getting him. He's a potential big play guy. Doesn't really have a strong role with the Giants anymore because, of course, Neighbors and Wandale's really emerged, and those are clearly who Daniel Jones prefers to throw to, and I think the two most talented receivers on the roster. But Slayton's proven that he can get the job done. You can probably get him for cheap. So I like Slayton.
I don't know about proving. He had a big drop last game.
Oh, he's had drops, but I think he's proven that he can do it. It's just making sure he holds on to the ball consistently.
I don't like that Slayton idea.
I like Slayton for them because it's not going to cost you much, and he's proven that he can win one-on-one. But again, the key is you've just spent a first round pick on a receiver that you traded up to pick. And so it's like you don't want to bring it. I mean, if you can get a Devontae Adams, sure, but I can't even imagine what the price would be for that. Um, and I wouldn't trade away any of your young defensive players because that defense has been playing like crazy,
Yeah,
and they're gonna have to carry you.
I think that defense is what helped win that game. Although
100%.
obviously, the Chargers had some injuries going at the line and at quarterback. That defense definitely held that team down for that win for sure.
The only other person I could think of that potentially is available because Carolina's so bad, maybe a Deontay Johnson, someone who's also had problems with drops, but someone who can turn the field upside down pretty quick.
Yeah, I don't think
Um,
they get rid of him.
so, um, I mean, the options aren't out there. To
You
be
know who's
honest with
out
you,
there who I really like is John Michie.
John
He
Mechie,
was
yeah, John
yeah,
Mechie, yeah.
I like him. I like him a lot, to be honest with you. He goes
If
to
you, but
Kansas City. He's turning up. I'm telling
but
you
if
right
you're
now.
again, but if you're Houston, do you even make the deal with them? Because you know
Yeah,
that you're going to be competing with them.
yeah, but you're not using them. Depends what they're giving up.
That's true. That's true. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine anybody in division trying to deal with them. And like, I can't imagine like a Baltimore making a move with them, a Houston making a move with them, because you know that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
team that they
It
need,
wouldn't.
that you're gonna
Yeah, it
have to
wouldn't make
beat,
sense.
right? But for whatever reason, Buffalo keeps making deals with them. Let them draft Mahomes. Let them draft Worthy. So Buffalo, ring ring. Shakir for
Yeah,
sale. Shakir, that'd be
Shakira's
crazy.
nasty, bro.
And last game I want to talk about from this week is the game that we just watched. An absolute thriller in Detroit. 40
That was a great game.
fantastic game. I mean, great quarterback play on display here. Detroit wins 42-29, beating Seattle. Jared Goff, literally perfect. 18 for 18, almost 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, caught one. And then Geno Smith, he had to throw the ball 56 times, which we always say is never a recipe for success when you got to throw the ball that much. But he played an awesome game. He had that late pick, but outside of that, I thought he played awesome. Curious your thoughts on the
Yeah,
game,
the
and of course you
Lions,
picked Detroit.
the
So
Lions. So first and foremost, once again, shout out to you, shout out to me. This is our first game that we bet and we hit the parlay. It was all on this game.
parlay.
Yeah, we talked about it prior when we was picking our picks. Was like the Lions' rush defense is pretty good, right? So, I don't see a problem with Smith throwing so much. It was quick throws. It wasn't like it wasn't like long drawn out plays. A lot of them was quick throws. So, there's that. But what I took away from this is how the Lions have so many weapons, right, on offense. It's almost like who do you guard? We talked about what Jameson had 2 catches, one big catch for 70 yards, I think it was.
Yep.
Then you still have Laporta underneath. You got St. Brown all over the field. That Montgomery pass, and he broke like 6 tackles for like, I don't know, 30,
Insane,
40
bro.
yards, whatever it was
Insane.
that's beast. I love the coaching. I love the culture. We talked about it all the time. There's a reason why they're my Super Bowl pick. I think they have what it takes to get to that next level. I will say, and I told you this even when we was making our picks, is the secondary makes me nervous, right? They got some rookies over there. This guy had 3 penalties, 2 holding, 1 pass interference. So it's like they have to work on that. But it's still early in the season. I mean, we're a quarter way through, so he has time to get better,
Time. Plenty of time.
and we'll see how that goes. On the opposite side, not to take too much away from you, but I did want to say how like Gino, I'm glad he didn't answer back. I'm glad when
Oh
they
yeah,
called him
100%.
and they said, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, he's just been, it's crazy if you look at just the arc of former Jets quarterbacks. Is Zach Wilson next? Like, is Zach Wilson gonna have some kind of career renaissance like Geno Smith had?
No.
About it. Sam Darnold replaced Geno, and Zach Wilson replaced Sam Darnold. So, um, Yeah, I mean, I'm super happy for Gino. He landed in a great spot with great weapons and a lot of support. I think I was surprised by Detroit's ability to just do whatever they wanted offensively. Um, kind of talked about it with Seattle, with the people who they played the first 3 weeks wasn't the toughest of competition. New England was in there, Miami without Tua was in there, so not really the toughest schedule to start the year. But it's good to see them be able to hang offensively with a tough Detroit Lions team on the road. It's just there's some defensive things that they got to shore up, and so that's really my takeaways from this game. Detroit's a real team. Seattle's interesting.
No, the last thing I want to take away from this is Amon St. Brown passes more act. There's either a lag or you're skipping. There's definitely a pause. Like you're not
Yeah, no, I'm
talking
with
fluid. It keeps pausing.
it does. I don't know fucking why, bro.
It's good now.
Yeah, I don't know why. I could
Yeah, it's
always
good
edit
now.
this, but all right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, no, it's good. At the end of the day, this is what we're gonna take away. We're gonna move on. Amon St. Brown is a more accurate passer than Daniel Jones.
Crazy, but accurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy, but
That pass
accurate.
was on the money.
On the money.
On the
A
money.
little Philly special. Philly in Detroit. Um, man, what an
Little
awesome,
Detroit deep
awesome
dish.
slate. That shit sucks. And the Chicago deep dish, number one. This Joey got that square style pizza. Which is also ass. Anyways, moving on. Moving on before we lose all of our fans in Detroit and potentially get mugged. Let's get out of here quick.
That's
I want to
crazy.
talk about just recapping the first quarter of the season. This is where we're going to spend a bulk of our shows. If we didn't talk about your team, it's because they probably didn't do anything worth talking about. So, um, I want to start with the AFC because I think we've seen some things that maybe weren't as surprising. Um, like Buffalo being the first in the AFC. Pittsburgh is actually a surprising one. Kansas City not surprising. Houston not surprising. But we've had some shocking starts. And the team that I think from the AFC, I'm gonna start with disappoint. Like I said, guys, I'm in a bad mood today. Cincinnati has been a
Mm.
has been an interesting one for me. And I know I was on the whole Cincinnati with Burrow first 2 weeks, not so great. Um, but it's like the way they lost. Like the way they lost against Kansas City, sure, whatever, penalty. But man, I don't know. Just something doesn't seem right in the building just yet. Maybe because Higgins wasn't there and Chase was still trying to figuring out how he felt and what he wanted to do and how he wanted to operate within the organization. Um, and starting 1-3, and they haven't played a division game. That's really scary to me because they don't play well against their own division. Um, so
So
for me, I
so
think if I look at this, they've been the most disappointed team to me in the AFC. Looking at this list,
so the same, but I'm not worried. The reason why I'm not worried is because that division is not scary like it used to be. Because think about it, right? Pittsburgh is the number one in the division. They have a great defense, but is Justin Fields reliable yet? He's been balling the last two games. I'll give him that, but that's not 2 games to me is not consistent enough for me to have belief. The only team other than the Bengals that I feel like will make noise is the Ravens. But we've seen the Ravens also with inconsistencies with the big loss to the Raiders. So they did excuse me. They did just come off a big win against Buffalo. Um,
destroy Buffalo.
I think that they're finding their image, knowing that they have to run the offense through Derrick Henry, which is what it should have been anyways. And then
Yep.
obviously you have the run option, you have the play action. but we'll see. That's why, even though they didn't have a division game, I think they could beat Cleveland twice easily, right? I think they can beat. I think they could beat Pittsburgh twice. Will they? I don't know, but I think they can, and I think they could split with the Ravens. So I'm not too worried about that. But I hear what you're saying. Like, we expected more coming out the gate, but at the same time, I really didn't with all the T Higgins injuries, the Chase holdout. That plays its part. Now, going back to what I feel like is the biggest disappointment in the AFC is the Patriots. I think we should be undefeated. I think that no, I'm just playing. It's not the Patriots. What
Yeah,
I
I'm about to say you fucking. The fact you guys have a win is you should be excited.
that's the surprise. We got to win. Um, no, I think it's the Colts. I think going into the season, hearing all the buzz around Anthony Richardson and what he was bound to do, and what we know he's capable of doing, I felt like they would have, at least, if they're 2-2, right? If not have a better record, at least not lose the way they've been losing. They've been losing terrible. Like, it doesn't even.
He's been bad.
Red zone.
He's
Not
been
last
bad.
week because he got hurt with the hip, but the week before that, they were barely even showed because they're not even getting in the red zone. And when
He's
they
been
do, this guy
bad.
throws to 3 defenders with one with one offensive player in the area. It was bad. So to me, the Colts is the biggest surprise because I expected more out of all these divisions and all the AFC.
Yeah, I think for me, Baltimore is actually the scariest. Just because, like you said, they found their identity clearly
Yeah,
against two what we think to be good teams, right? Or decent teams with Dallas and of course Buffalo, who's off to a super hard
Dallas
start.
is frauds. They're frauds.
Um, but if I'm looking at Cincinnati, right, the only loss that's really excusable. Well, there's two. I mean, they lost to the Chiefs, fine. Um, that's really the only one. Like, you should have. No disrespect to Jaden Daniels. Of course, we see the way he's playing, but rookie quarterback going into your house. Of course, he's done it to
Nah.
two different people. But Lou Anarumo is supposed to be this awesome defensive
Yeah,
coordinator,
but we
right?
no, I'm taking Jaden all day, bro. I get it. Like the
This guy's a
what
Jaden
no,
lover.
I'm just saying, like, I'm taking that all day. You're
Is
only
he,
saying that because he's a rookie.
bro? He's
If
your
Jaden's not a
cousin, or
rookie,
what's good? You related to him?
nah.
Why you love him so much, bro? Why you feel like you
I'm,
got to defend him?
he's already on a Hall of Fame path
I
in
mean,
4 games.
what he's been doing is incredible. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he's doing shit that no one's ever done before, but I'm not
That's Dirty Daniels. You better address him by his fucking name.
Dirty Daniels. Never in a fucking world will I ever say that. And then who's Dirty Daniels? What the fuck? Who's
Don't disappoint me.
who's impressed me the most in the AFC? I might surprise you here. Denver. Denver has surprised me the most. Like, we said last week, right? Sneaky okay team. Sneaky okay team. Their defense has been balling.
Yeah, they really have.
What they did to Baker 2 weeks ago. The game in MetLife on Sunday was a rainy day. Neither offense could really get anything going, but their defense is so impressive. Pat Surtain is ridiculous. And Bo Nix is starting to figure some shit out. Once they get a
He looked
consistent
terrible
running game,
last game.
he looked terrible, but Aaron Rodgers also looked equally as bad.
It was
So
raining and shit. Not
right,
that I think that's an excuse,
but he's gonna continue to figure it out. He's another college quarterback that has a lot of years in college, so I think he has a
a
decent.
lot.
Yeah,
He's almost a professor.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
I know.
And so I feel like Denver, them being 2-2, number one, I didn't expect that shit out of them. But the way that they've been able to compete defensively, I mean, they've only given up 55 points through 4 weeks. And they've played, of course, the Jets aren't this prolific offense, but the Jets have been playing okay. Pittsburgh, who's put up some, decent point totals. They put up 24 last game. I'm actually been really impressed by the way they're coming out because I thought they were going to be like worst of the worst, and so I think Denver's kind of been the most pleasantly surprising team in the AFC.
I like that take. I won't argue that take for sure. Definitely a surprise. I think the biggest surprise for me is it's one of the two. It's either Pittsburgh leading that division, tough division, with no real uh solid quarterback play. In fact, Wilson was scheduled to be the starter until he got hurt before game one. That defense is unreal. Watt is out of his mind. But even then, you're like, can they? You know what I mean? Like you need a decent quarterback play, which I guess he's been playing all right. The other surprise for me though is Jacksonville
Oh,
because although I did not expect them to be at the top of that division even through a quarter, I didn't expect them to look that bad. Like they looked
th-
bad. Although
terrible.
they competed with the Texans. Um but they have looked awful. And then, even Lawrence said it like nobody is contributing at this point. And everybody's making a mistake at the wrong time. And they were just a playoff team 2 years ago. So for that drop off after getting paid what he got paid, I did not expect that. I mean, realistically, they're worse than the Titans, right? Because the Titans won this week,
They are
although they
worse than the
played
Titans.
Miami. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
which Jacksonville also played Miami, and they blew that game because, like you said, making mistakes at the wrong time. ETN with that
Yeah,
costly fumble going into the end zone.
yeah,
But I'm glad you mentioned Houston because Houston was a lot of people's pick. If anybody was going to dethrone the Chiefs in the AFC, Houston was a popular pick for it, and their record is 3-1. But they have not been impressive to start the year, in my opinion. Their offense played really good against the Colts, but their defense played poorly. That was Anthony Richardson's best game, and he's been bad this year. Then you go on to week 2, play Caleb Williams on Sunday Night Football, rookie first primetime game, going into your building, and it's a close game. Your offense plays awful. Your defense plays pretty good. Then you get absolutely destroyed by Minnesota, who's turned out to be a good team, but neither your offense or defense looks great. And then you play this game against a bad Jags team, and it's close. You got to go and win at the end of the game. I mean, they're
yeah,
a 3-1 team, but they have a negative point differential, which will catch up to you eventually,
yeah.
right? You can't keep on getting outscored, and
We talked about the reason why I'm not worried though is D'Amico Ryans.
but hold
Eh,
on. Let me tell you their next 4 games, okay? And you tell me how you think they're gonna do. Next Sunday, they're at home. They host the Bills. Bills coming off a bad loss, trying to wipe that clean. You think Houston wins that game?
I'll look a little more into it, but I don't right now. I would pick Houston.
Okay, so then the week after that, they get a little layup. They go to New England. Okay.
I'm definitely picking Houston.
The week after that, they go to Green Bay.
I think that's gonna be a tougher game than what you would think. I think every game in Lambeau is a tough game. That's why I'm even more uh, enthusiastic about Sam Darnold going there and getting a dub. But I can see Stroud winning there.
And then they're home for the Colts, who played them tough the first game.
Yeah, yeah. But Richardson might still be hurt. Indy in the first game. And depending on even if Richardson plays, like where's his head at? Is he confident that he can hang around with these guys? He already lost to them at home. That home field advantage plays what gives you a 1.5 point differential. So yeah, Texas can go 4-0 easy. I don't think it's gonna be easy. Don't get me wrong. I shouldn't have said easy. I think that they can definitely go 4-0
2-2.
though.
That looks like 2-2. I think they lose next week, and I think they lose to the Packers. 2-2 looks
Well,
like, and then it
that's
doesn't get
why my record is
easier.
better than yours.
But no, it's not. We're actually tied, by the way.
I know, I know.
But it doesn't even get any easier after that. So they go to MetLife to play the Jets, where they got smoked last year. Um, Then they host the Lions. They go play They play Dallas.
They're losing the Lions.
The good thing for them is that they get to play the Titans and the Jags and the Dolphins. But then they also still got the Chiefs and the Ravens on their schedule after that. It's a tough slate. They got to figure shit out. And I'm not saying they won't figure shit out, but that is a deceptive 3-1. Because if that's any other team or against other opponents, and they play that way, what we saw against Minnesota is a likely outcome. They gotta be able to play.
But listen, their only
Offense and
loss was
defense.
to. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, their only loss was to an undefeated team.
Yeah, no, listen, a win's a win, but we always talk about eye test matters.
Yeah.
Eye test is important. I think 3 of the 4 division leaders, though, is not shocking. Buffalo being first in the AFC East, Houston being first in the AFC South, and Kansas City being first in the AFC West. Pittsburgh is kind of maybe the shocking
Pittsburgh
one.
won't stay there. I guarantee.
No, they're not
that.
gonna stay in one. They're not staying there. Baltimore's hitting their stride. Cincinnati's gonna heat up. Let's move on to the NFC. We'll start with the NFC East, man.
Let's go.
Your Washington Commanders. Just so impressive. I mean, I know every time we talk about it, that's the word that I use, but it truly is incredible. I mean, you were picked second overall last year, and you're 3-1, and it's not like you had some, play Cincinnati in Cincinnati. You go and play Arizona in Arizona. Your first game was tough against Tampa in Tampa, right? And you lose that game, but then you beat the Giants, who's actually has had your number the last couple of years, and so it's been impressive to see what they're doing. But definitely a shock, man. That's your boy, though. So,
there's no Shockey over here.
Clearly,
Jeremy Shockey is a Giant, and we're not fucking with him. Definitely. I think I chose the Eagles to win this division originally, just because of their dominance. I felt
they suck.
They suck. We talked. I remember that. I remember that episode we was talking mad shit about Philly. I'm like, oh yes, this is bad. But realistically, Jaden Daniels, he's that guy. So he's a game changer. He's a different kind of player, man. So I think they're gonna run away with that division. I think that Dallas is the biggest fraud in that division, believe it or not. Dallas is a fraud. Dallas are frauds. They should have lost to New York. New York is obviously not going to do anything. In Philly, we talked about earlier, so we're not even going to get into that. The North is a scary division. They obviously, with MVP Sam Darnold, they can win that division, but I still got Detroit. I still got Detroit winning that. NFC South. I think the NFC South is still open. I think that it could go between Tampa and Atlanta. I think that New Orleans is good, but they're not good enough. I think that's a big win for the Falcons to overcome New Orleans. And was it in New Orleans or was it in Atlanta?
It was in the ATL.
It was in the ATL. That was a big win. My boy, Young Wei Koo, kicking the shit out of football. And then the NFC West, we got Seattle leading. Tough loss tonight, but I think they bounce back. Who they play next week?
They play the homeless people under the bridge.
That's crazy.
Line them up.
They definitely should win that game.
Lace them up. They play the Giants.
Yeah.
So same shit.
They're gonna bounce back. Yeah.
Same shit.
Good call. Arizona, disappointment, but at the same time, kind of used to it. And then your Super Bowl pick, not really surprising me, but you like them.
Let me say something really fast. Fuck you. Now for coaching analysis.
Wow.
First and foremost,
well, fuck you too.
I don't know if okay. That was a nice setup. I don't know if Dallas are frauds. I think Philly's fraudulent. actually.
I think they're both frauds. I think they're both scammers.
I
I
think
think one takes your debit card from the 24 store and the other takes it from the gas station. They're both frauds, bro.
I think Philly's more fraudulent. People love Philly. Like, why do people love Philly so much? I don't get it.
Even you had Dallas winning that division. You think Dallas has a chance of winning that?
Yep.
Oh, you're bugging.
Still
Dallas
do?
is more
So one game
than the Uber driver that beat me for $100 in Dallas to get back to my fucking hotel.
Yo, who we rolling up on? Who scammed you like that?
I don't remember his name.
Yo, say it right here. I'll put his credentials all over the pod's fucking social media. Go find
that guy. Yeah, find that guy.
Obviously the overachievers here. It's obvious. Minnesota, right? When you look at the NFC, just in the NFL in general, no one expected that. Especially they draft a rookie quarterback, kind of saying, "Hey, we're ready to reset." And you bring in Sam Darnold after JJ McCarthy, has suffered a season-ending injury in the preseason, and they've just looked honestly dominant, both sides of the ball, best point differential, right with the Saints because they both have 57, plus 57 point differential. But we all know what the Saints are, right? Shout out to Dennis Green. They are who we thought they are. Pumpkin watch, not even pumpkin watch anymore. There's a pumpkin in New Orleans. There's a pumpkin in New Orleans.
And his name is
Derek Carr. He sucks.
He sucks.
Yeah, obviously Minnesota's an overachiever. And then if I look at the most disappointing team in the division, it has to be the fucking Rams, man. It has to be the Rams. Now, granted, they're the most injured team in football, but even with that being said, they should have won last week against Chicago. That's a tough loss.
Yeah.
They beat San Fran, so that's good. It was good for them that Seattle lost because now they're only 2 games back, and they haven't played Seattle yet. But they got smoked by Arizona, and they played Detroit tough. But it has to be Rams at 1-3. You should be at least 2-2, potentially 3-1. And it's just not looking good right now.
Well, it's not looking good. And as much as I want to clown you for picking them for the Super Bowl, to be honest, with that schedule, that's not that bad. I mean, it's bad because you're starting off the quarter in the negative, but you play some tough teams, and you're not healthy. So I'm not mad at LA. I think that they can make a run. I think Cooper Kupp has 2 weeks before he's back. You get him back, that's a whole other thing. And if the schedule lightens up, I'm not sure what the schedule looks like.
It's gonna be tough. They got the Packers at home next week. Okay. Then they get the Raiders, who could sometimes be frisky if they want to.
No.
Then they got the Vikings on a short week. Spooky. That's at home though.
So let's say 1-2.
Then they go to Seattle, which is in the given. They get the Dolphins at home, but Tua could be back by then.
Won't matter.
Patriots, that should be a layup. Eagles, that should be a layup. Saints, that's a layup. But then they end it. It's a tough schedule to end the season. You got the Bills coming in. You got to play the Niners again. You go to play the Jets in MetLife. Got the Cardinals who destroyed you, and you end with the Seahawks. 3 of your last 4 games are divisional games, which, depending on how they perform, could really matter.
Yeah.
But man, listen,
they weren't set up for success, and then with the injuries, yeah, they're all set. So I would pick another Super Bowl team if I were you.
No, I'm still riding with them.
Yeah, you're all set.
Because the lane for a wild card is there. Let me tell you, the lane for a wild card is there.
If you look, there might be 4 teams out of the North in the playoffs, bro.
No, that shit's not happening.
There might be, is what I'm saying. There's definitely gonna be 3.
They're gonna kill each other.
Definitely 2. Maybe
they're gonna kill each other. They're gonna kill each other. The South is sus as fuck.
Exactly.
Washington,
South is sus. The North is heavy.
The East is sus.
Dallas might not make it.
Dallas might not. If Dallas don't make it, Philly's definitely not making it. And the Giants, they're not even playing the right sport. They're not even playing the right sport.
Let's keep throwing the neighbors. Give me my fantasy points. Keep it
like a good neighbors.
Yes, Quan is here.
Shit is bad.
That
Shit is bad.
was a little corny.
Yeah, that was bad. That was bad. The Rams are down bad.
Anything
So
that has to do with the Giants is bad at this point.
fucking just terrible, man. Another reason why I drink. So we kind of talked about who's been, the shit, who's kind of been who's been shitty. Is there any team that started off strong that you expect to cool down significantly?
Who started off strong? We have, I think Kansas City. I think Kansas City.
Knew that was gonna be it. Knew it. All right, tell me why. Patrick
Well, I
Mahomes.
think
He might be the biggest
think
threat.
that somebody in the NFL seen one of the pods and was like, you know what? It's a little obvious that we have the referees helping out. So that's one. Two is their primary receivers down. So I think Kansas City.
Yeah, no. No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not it. Let me tell you why. As long as they got 15, I don't give a shit. Just like how the Patriots were. As long as they had 12, it didn't matter. It didn't matter.
He's not 12.
You know why? He's right. He's off to a better start than 12 was.
Now he's talking spicy. Doesn't matter how you start.
What? There's nothing spicy about what I said. It's all factual. Most wins through 100 starts.
Well, no. But the way you said it is almost like if you're insinuating Mahomes is going to be the better quarterback. Period.
Listen,
he's still not in
the
the conversation.
4 Super Bowls to win. He has 4 Super Bowls. 3-peat sometimes never done. 3-peat sometimes, but that doesn't make him the GOAT.
He's no fucking 3-peat.
Yeah, they might.
He's getting no fucking 7 Super Bowls.
I never said 7, but the 3-peat's in play.
He's not getting a third.
All right.
Not
you know what I'm saying? This is how I know you was. This is how I know you was being for real about that 8-ball last week. I think the team that's gonna cool off That is crazy. Let me chill. The team that's gonna cool off that started off really good, I think it's gonna be Houston. It's gonna be Houston.
You did say that, and you're worried about who they're playing. Yeah, I think you're out your mind.
Who they're playing is not easy. Not an easy schedule, and on top.
What does that actually mean, though? Like,
I don't think they're going 3-1 over the next 4. How about that?
Okay.
They're not duplicating success.
2-2.
They're not going to be 6-2. They might be 4-4. They might be 4-4. Watch out for those sneaky Patriots.
This guy is saying anything at this point. The only way the Patriots win is they put Drake May and get something miraculous, and then his hype goes up. Then it's
how could I be more wrong? How could I be more wrong than I am right now? I picked the Rams. How could I be more wrong? I'm not playing house money at this point.
Yeah.
All right, so let's just keep it moving. Let's keep it pushing. Who do you think that started off not so great that's gonna pick up and they're gonna be like, oh yeah, we expect them to be good. Maybe they're just rough patch to start the season.
Honestly, I don't know the schedule, so it makes it a little bit tough. Go to the NFC for me real quick. I think I want to say the Cardinals.
1-3?
Yeah, I want to say the Cardinals can be better, but
the only problem with Arizona for me is they're so inconsistent on both sides of the ball. When you think their offense should be so well oiled with the weapons that they have.
Yeah, but yeah, I get what you're saying. But it goes back to even with the Houston take, where it's like the first game you said the defense didn't play well against Anthony Richardson. Then the offense played well, but the defense didn't. Then both didn't play well. I think that's part of
tough too.
Is it? I think that's part of the first quarter of the NFL, anyways. It's
It's been
uncovering
funky.
your opportunities and then finding out who you are. So even with Houston, it's like, what is Houston's identity? Do you know what it is?
Nope. I
Me
thought I
neither.
knew what it was gonna be, but
Me
then Joe
neither.
Mixon got hurt.
Joe Mixon got hurt. That's what I'm saying. So we don't really know who Houston is yet. I will say Nico Collins is a savage. So you got him out there. He's balling, and then he opens up opportunities. Tank Dell didn't even play last game. You can't eliminate who he is as a player and what he brings to that offense.
You were in a close game against the 2024 Jacksonville Jaguars
It's a divisional game.
at home.
It's a divisional game.
At home.
It's a divisional game.
They haven't played a complete football game, and that's what's scary.
So you're telling me division games are easy?
Yeah, absolutely. I see the Giants get blown out all the time.
The Giants almost beat Dallas.
But you already know. You said Dallas is fraud. You said Dallas is fraud. So now you're gonna give them credit for the Giants almost beating them? Come on, man.
Because even though they're frauds, to almost lose to the New York Giants in 2024 is insane.
That's what I'm saying. Let Mr. Consistency come to the mic and speak some truth right here. Okay?
Oh my God. You get a nice New York Yankees hat, and now you think you know everything about the Big Apple.
The team that started off poor, that's going to rise from the ashes, is the Cincinnati Bengals.
I was going to say them. That's too easy, though. That's too easy.
What's easy about it? They're 1-3.
Their schedule.
They still haven't played a divisional game, is what I'm saying.
And I already spoke on that. That's why it's too easy. I wasn't picking. Don't do easy shit.
No, that's
easy. A challenge.
Yeah, tell me Joe Burrow's record against his own division. He hasn't beaten Cleveland.
I don't give a fuck. It's about the past. We already talked about that. Leave the past in the past. You can't move forward if you're looking behind you.
Okay. All right. You got to tell Deshaun Watson that.
Let's go. Exactly.
All right.
Deshaun Watson over there chilling with Rob Kraft. You think he out here making moves? No. Fuck out of here. He's terrible. Deshaun Watson is bottom 5 quarterback in the league, bro.
He might be bottom 1.
Mason Rudolph came in the game and played better than Deshaun Watson.
That shit he is bad. Bro, he's so bad. Kevin Stefanski hit me up. He's like, 1-2 plays. That's all I'm asking, bro.
He's terrible, bro.
That's all I'm asking.
Quarterback.
He saw my son throwing the football.
He's disappointed because I remember Deshaun Watson against Josh Allen in the playoffs. If I'm not,
I remember that.
They were both rookies, if I'm not mistaken.
Usually that early in the career. What game you're talking about?
Deshaun Watson was balling, and I wanted him to be successful, but I don't approve of the things he. Is it still allegations or is it like proven now? This point, he's done it. He was with Diddy. The Sean Diddy show is out of control. So I'm just saying, it's getting out of hand.
That is a link that the world cannot allow happen. That shit cannot happen. That shit could not happen.
That is wild.
Him, and then they're gonna be cellmates with R. Kelly. Shit is crazy. Done.
Yeah. That's wild, bro.
Shit is crazy. All right, so before we sign off, I want to get your early takes on end of the year award winners. Start with MVP, and then we'll work our way through. So right now, who's your MVP favorite?
MVP favorite is a toss-up, but I would still go with Sam Darnold.
I love some Samuel Darnold.
He's balling. He is balling. Like I said, if any notarized quarterback name was out there, Joe Burrow, they're already talking about it. Period.
Oh, you can't. No, I mean Joe Burrow's that shit's asinine right now. You can't say Joe Burrow.
No. What I'm saying, if Joe Burrow was playing the way Sam Darnold is playing, they would already be saying he's an MVP candidate. That's what I'm saying.
Even after yesterday's performance, I still like Josh Allen.
He has the most touchdown passes.
I think Baltimore just came in, was like, we know exactly what we want to do. We're gonna, and That first play of the game absolutely killed him.
We know what we know he is. He's not a winner, bro. Josh Allen
It's a regular season award. Yeah, he is. In the regular season, he is. It's a regular season award. It's a regular season award.
He's paying Manning. Sam Darnold's Tom Brady.
Okay. How many MVPs Peyton won? Okay. We're talking about MVP.
What does that matter?
Moving on. Offensive Player of the Year.
I think it's going to be the Offensive Player of the Year is also going to be the Rookie of the Year, which is my guy, Jaden Daniels. Dirty Daniels.
Where is your I Heart Jaden Daniels t-shirt, bro? Where is that?
That's my guy. That's my guy.
I can tell, bro. For me, offensive Player of the Year is gonna be the guy who has the Quan's MVP thrown to him, Jay Jettas.
Really?
He's just different, bro. He's different.
Yeah, but he's not putting up stats like that.
Just wait. Now that Addison is back too, and they got to pay attention to that side of the field, and then when Hawkinson gets back, it's gonna be Madden time. It's gonna be Madden time.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
Who do you like for off? I mean, you already said offensive rookie of the year. Who you like? Jaden Daniels. I also like Jaden Daniels, but Malik Neighbors is also there for me too. If Jaden cools down, I just don't think he's gonna cool down. Not to a place where people are gonna be like, no, maybe it's Neighbors. Also, Neighbors' quarterback is Daniel Jones. Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, that's easy. It's Watt.
Watt's hands down nasty, bro.
Hands down, Watt.
Hutchinson's
nasty.
He's nasty.
He's nasty. But Watt is he's literally changing the game.
That's fact. He's disgusting.
Every game. Like,
he's disgusting.
Without Watt, Steelers aren't 3-1.
Oh, 100%.
Without Hutchinson, the Lions could be 3-1.
But one thing to call out about Watt is the Steelers defense got gashed yesterday against the Colts. Joe Flacco led Colts. And one big play that didn't have was Highsmith, their other edge rusher. So they were able to really focus on Watt, which just shows how great of a player he is. But I think, he's just so fucking good, man. He's crazy.
Yeah, he's phenomenal. Crazy. It's crazy to have J.J. Watt and now T.J. Watt is like
insane, bro. Who you got for Coach of the Year?
I think I need more kids.
What does that have to do with anything?
Well, I don't know how many kids they had, but 2 of them were successful.
I think that. Oh, you talking about the Watts?
My theory, the Watts. My theory was the more kids you have, the more chance of success.
Coach of the Year,
Brian Flores, even though he's a DC.
Nah, bro. I mean, if the Vikings continue,
it gotta be Vikings coach O'Connell.
Yeah. I mean, either that. I'm surprised you didn't say Dan Quinn because you love Washington so much.
I mean, that's not a bad pick. And I always thought Dan Quinn was a hard-nosed coach. But Vikings are undefeated right now, so how do you go against that?
By being infamous. Come on now, man.
That's a good take.
Dan Quinn, Coach of the Year, man. If Washington wins the division, Coach of the Year.
If Minnesota wins the division.
No. I think Washington is more impressive. Let me tell you why I think Washington is more impressive. Because
let me tell you
Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell's already had success there. But Minnesota has the best receiver in football. Period. Right? Like, that's not even debatable.
All right, keep going.
Brian Flores as a defensive coordinator who we talked up and down about. Incredible defensive mind. Okay. Washington.
Yeah, but
also, Minnesota was last in the division. I think they won like 7 games last year, though.
Can you keep going? Go ahead.
Okay.
Don't start talking for me.
No, what I'm saying is I think Minnesota won like 7 games last year. Washington was fucking terrible. They had no like, oh man, we have these awesome building blocks. You had Terry McLaurin. Okay, you have Terry McLaurin. You bring in this rookie, you bring in Dan Quinn, you're like, all right, make something happen. And they've just been cooking. They've been absolutely cooking. That's all you need to know.
Vikings are in a much harder division. Well, we had, if I'm not mistaken, we had them maybe sneaking into the playoffs because we had Detroit. We definitely had Detroit,
Green Bay, and I said Chicago could be frisky.
Exactly. So
did not say Minnesota.
Harder division,
bro.
That division with Washington is ass, bro. They're ass.
Hold on.
Dallas is ass. Eye test. Is that no. Let me ask you a question. Eye test. Let me ask you a question.
Good.
Is eye test. Is Dallas good?
No, they're okay.
All right. No. Just yes or no answers.
They're okay.
Eye test. Are the Eagles good?
Hell no.
Okay. Eye test. Are the Giants good?
Why the fuck you doing that? Don't make me answer that question.
All right. End the story.
Okay, let's do it. Eye test. Are the Bears good?
Yes.
I think the Giants can beat the Bears.
I think the Giants can beat the Bears. I think so too, but I think the Bears could also beat Dallas.
That's fair. Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
I mean, we saw the Giants almost beat them. Damn, bro, they fucking suck.
I definitely won that debate. I appreciate you. Let me do that to the world.
Why
the world is gonna see that.
Why are they so bad?
I don't know. But they are
so fucking bad, bro.
They are. They don't have no running game.
Fucking Rico Dowdle?
Rico Suave is not getting it done, brother.
Yeah, Rico Suave. And Philly is just like, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with Philly.
Philly's eating a cheesesteak with chocolate milk, and you just know it's gonna be a disaster after, bro. It's like shit is going downhill, bro. Yo, you know what's crazy? Is you lose your center and your team just falls off, bro. You lose your center and your team falls off.
Well, for all you know, he could have been a heart and soul. He could have been the Philly cheesesteak to that team.
Could have been. He obviously was.
No, you know what I think it is? I think
the coaching sucks. I thought the coaching sucks, right. Period.
They were the worst team that towards the end of last year, even with their heart and soul, Jason Kelce, if you want to call him their heart and soul. They didn't make moves to improve their defense.
No, they drafted some corners.
Yeah, so you're gonna depend on rookies to carry your secondary. That shit ain't gonna work. And you're like, hey, you're betting on Jalen Hurts to be like, hey, Jalen, we expect you to be the guy from 2 years ago when the magic looks like it was in Shane Steichen, not Nick Sirianni.
I agree. That's a great call.
Then you bring in Saquon, who's carried you to 2 wins. But we've seen Saquon.
The ball.
We've seen Saquon. We've seen Saquon carry the team to the game.
He had no carries in the first quarter of the game. And he's the reason they beat the Saints.
Listen, this is exactly why I told people at the beginning of the year. Why are we even talking about Philly? Why the only Philly shit we should be talking about cheesesteaks and the Phillies. That's the only Philly shit you should be excited about.
That's it.
Eagles garbage. Sixers right next to him. Dumpster juice, bro.
That's it.
Fucking New York all day. Anyways, moving on to something more exciting. Let's end the show. Making our picks for week 5. Kicks off on Thursday night. Buccaneers at Falcons. You already know I'm feeling frisky, man. Tampa Bay. They widen their lead on this division.
No. Falcons winning that game.
Lame. Next up, Jets at
Bucks. Go ahead. Next, go ahead.
We'll talk about it after. All right. Jets.
Bucks' strength is their passing. You got one of the best secondaries. They're all set.
Kirk's best strength is thrown to the other team. Let's get it. Jets at Vikings. This game's in
Bijan
London.
has a big game. They win that game. Go ahead. What you say? Jets who?
Are you sure?
Yeah, Jets who? What do you say?
Jets Vikings in London.
Oh yeah, London Bridge is falling down, falling. I don't even know if that's how the song goes, but Sam Darnold
Give me the
proves
Jets.
that Sam Darnold proves that he's better than Aaron Rodgers, and it's not a fluke.
Wow, hot take. Sam Darnold over the 40-year-old Aaron Rodgers off an Achilles injury. Fuck. All right, this guy's heating up. Give me the Jets, man.
That was good.
All right, give me the Jets. Give me the Jets, man.
Greg the leg got pegged.
He's tired.
He was at Diddy's party. Greg
Yeah.
the leg.
This shit is in shambles, man.
Greg the leg was chilling with Deshaun at Diddy's party is wild, bro. All right, go ahead next.
Oh,
Shit.
all right. Moving to a team that's almost as much shambles as Quan is right now. Carolina Panthers at the Chicago Bears.
Who Carolina played last week?
Cincinnati,
No, this week.
24-24.
Yeah, it was a close game. I remember Chicago was in it.
Chicago.
Definitely Chicago.
Chicago.
I wouldn't say definitely, but I'll say Chicago.
Chicago. Ravens at Bengals.
Ooh.
Cincinnati needs this game. Cincinnati absolutely needs this game. The Ravens could be the Baltimore. I'm
taking the Ravens, man. They found their identity. Hamilton's no joke. On defensive side of Baltimore, I'm taking the Ravens. Shout out to my guy Smoke with Pop.
Give me Joe Burrow. Jamar Chase. T. Higgins.
This guy's out of his mind.
Dubsky. They need it. They need it more.
Right.
They need it more. Who they think gonna beat them Bengals? Nobody.
What the? Can we wrap this show up soon? Come on, man. Let's go. This guy's out of control.
Bills at Texans.
Texans. You chose the Bills. I'm taking Texans.
Buffalo Wings. Colts at Jaguars. This is
Who came in? Oh, Flacco. Yeah, I'll take the Colts.
Yeah, you know the Colts, especially if Flacco plays. Dolphins at Patriots.
That's gonna be a funny game.
Patriots.
Only because it's in New England, I'm gonna take New England.
Yeah, Patriots.
And we can't just win one game.
Nah, two. The Giants need you guys to win. Browns at Commanders.
Was that even a question?
No.
Raiders Daniels goes crazy. Ravens at who? Who's at Broncos?
Raiders at Broncos.
Oh, Raiders at Broncos.
Raiders?
Ooh.
Oh no, I like Denver.
No. I didn't choose a team, sir. I was saying, I was repeating. I like the Broncos to bounce back at home too.
Yep. 3-game winning streak. They're about to get 3-game. They're about to be on a heater. Cardinals at Niners. 49ers.
Niners.
Packers at Rams.
You didn't pick a team.
I said Niners.
Oh, my bad. I didn't hear that.
Packers at Rams. Matt Stafford. We're winning.
I'm taking the Rams.
Trust me, they're winning.
I'm taking the Rams.
Giants at Seahawks.
Seahawks.
All day. Cowboys at Steelers. Dallas.
Ooh. No.
Dallas.
Steelers.
Dallas.
You're crazy. Them terrible towels gonna be
Wow.
Towels are frauds. They're fucking frauds. He's gonna Dak is
if Joe Flacco
and be like, what the fuck?
If Joe Flacco could Deshaun Watson the Steelers, What do you think that's gonna do? Massage room all day.
Cut it out.
Monday night, Saints at Chiefs. Chiefs. Why are we having this
Saints at
conversation?
Chiefs.
Well, I tell you,
Saints at Chiefs. No,
the circus is going to
Saints
Kansas
is winning
City.
that game. The
That's
Saints are gonna win that game.
Yep. Confirmed. Confirmed. High
Saints.
fuck.
I'm so good
Confirmed.
cigar, buddy.
What's in it?
That's it. Is that it?
That's it.
Oh,
Buy
wow.
start this week. Buy start this week.
Mm.
I'd say great show, but you kind of killed it at the end. But anyways, fucking wild, man.
You be saying anything.
Me? Me?
Yeah.
This guy, Greg the Leg. I'm not gonna even repeat the last part of that sentence.
Yeah.
Golly.
It was good getting together on a Monday night, 1:30. Got to work in the morning.
Show up.
You.
Don't go.
Yeah. Well, keep hitting these parlays. Might not have to.
Let me tell you something, guys.
Let
me tell you something. The parlays are hot right now. Parlays are hot.
Yeah. Subscribe to us. Hit the ring. Hit the little bell. Subscribe. You get a notification letting you know when Matt and I are out here talking infamously and speaking some facts that many might disagree with, which is fine because that's what we do this for. But you hit the subscribe, and we may give you some parlays where you can make some money.
At this point, you're just talking just to talk. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And as always, think critically, speak infamously.
We out.